William Hunt Savile Row sponsors the Trilby Tour. The perfect gentleman's playground.
On the Trilby Tour tonight, it's not a case of rain stops play, it's deer stop playoff. It's time for a new generation to shine as the Trilby Tour turns into the Trilby Teens. The best young golfers in the UK converge on the Forest of Arden to see who can show the granddads how golf should be played. In the show this week, the youngsters take on the 18 holes of the Arden course in regulation play. The best 4 players play off over 3 holes to see who will be the first ever Trilby Teens Champion. And they may be young, but we are still going to show them messing up in Rogues Gallery. Anna Whiteley's on the course to meet the teens on the tees and the dads on the bags. But now, let's hear from the old man of golf, Rob Lee.
Thank you, Mac. Yeah, lovely day at the Forest of Arden venue, of course, for the Trilby Tour World Championship final. These are a lot of top youngsters going toe-to-toe. Let's get to the first tee with Anna.
Thanks, Rob. Well, we've got Paul and Jack here. Guys, this is a quite intense day. Jack, first of all, you're up on the tee. How are the nerves?
They're a bit shaking, but I'm sure get off first and I should be all right after that.
Well, the most important thing today is that you've got a solid caddy on your bag. What do you think your dad's going to be like?
All depends how I play, really, but hopefully he's calm like me, so hopefully we play well.
Does his advice tend to be any good whatsoever?
I don't really listen to him. Just there to carry my bag today.
I imagine that's off the golf course as well as on the golf course. Don't even listen. So how's Jack's game then? How do you think he's going to do today?
Well, we came yesterday, we had a practice round and scored 35 points at Stavelwood, so he's had the practice round, and if he can... he's obviously got a powerful drive, so if he can get near the greens on that, he has a chance.
And you're going to be a cool dad, not an annoying one today, aren't you?
Probably a bit of both, actually, but if I stay calm, he stays calm, and you know, it's a great experience, Trilby Tour. He's caddied in it, so he's had the experience, so hopefully just a great day for the teens to play golf.
Yes, let's play Spot the Cool Dad. It might be quite hard to find one today. Warner. Oh, he has got some speed as well. Good thrash off the first. Can't do much better than that. Nice way to start when you're nervous. Excellent.
Okay, well now we have Ethan and Martin. Dad on the bag, Ethan.
Yeah.
How are the nerves, first of all?
I'm coping all right. As long as I can get it off the tee nicely, I'll be fine. But yeah, I'm a bit nervous, but that's always good, isn't it?
And Dad, you should know your son's game better than most. How do you think he's going to do today?
Well, he's playing very well. He puts in a lot of practice. He's put in a lot of hours of practice to get here. So yeah, I'm confident he's going to do well.
And where's home? Where have you been doing all this practice?
Sprowston Manor. It's been good. I've been getting down as much as I can and practicing my putting and chipping. That's what matters. So hopefully it can all pay off today.
A Trilby Tour venue, so you must be familiar with the Trilby.
Yeah.
Are you going to be a decent caddy? Because if not, we will insult you probably.
Well, I think the best thing I can do is keep quiet and keep out his face and just give him the club that he asks me for. So that's my plan.
Is it fair to say his advice isn't always worth taking?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping he will just keep quiet, and I'll hope he just gives me the right advice. But hopefully I can just play well.
Dads and sons, it's normally combustible. Richmond off the first. Now, is this coming back? Looks like it is. Well, that's showing a lot of promise and a lot of run. That's gone a long way down there. Dad'd be pleased.
Well, I've got Albert here with Dad on the bag. Albert, you're probably one of our youngest Trilby Tourians. This is a big day in a gentleman's life. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling all right. I was 13 like a couple of weeks ago, so Yeah, I probably am the youngest, to be honest.
Perfect timing then. Dad, got here in the nick of time, just turned 13. How's his game?
It's good. He's played a few good rounds. We had a practice round up here and was good. But like I said, he's been on the range and he's up for it. I'm the nervous one.
Albert, what do you think your dad's going to be like as a caddy? Is he going to be a dad from hell and a bit of an embarrassment?
No, he's alright, I suppose, yeah.
Another massive endorsement for a parent from young Wymark. Free as a whistle, that one. Slightly pushed, it's okay. Hat just about fitting. That's the smallest Trilby hat we've got.
Well, I'm joined by one particular Trilby Tour legend and son, Tony and Luca. Luca, your main mission of today is to play better than your dad. Do you think you can do that?
Well, hopefully, yeah, because my dad didn't do very well, so it won't be that hard to beat, to be fair.
I think all you have to do really is to get it on the fairway, and I think you've exceeded all his expectations.
Yeah, probably.
Now, Tony, I hate to be mean, but you haven't had the greatest Trilby Tour experience, have you?
No, I've tried 6 times now. I just can't beat it. It's too much. Mr. Hunt puts too much pressure on me. That's the problem. So I've brought my son today. Hopefully he can do what I can't do.
So is it fair to say that you probably shouldn't listen to much of your dad's advice out there on the golf?
Spoke about it. Just tell me where to hit it and then just don't say anything else, really.
All he's got to do is carry the bag and say nothing.
Yeah, that's about it.
Got to say the Camilleris don't sound very Italian. Here we go. Young Camilleri. Oh, yes. Beautiful. Striper. All right, Dad? Out into the golf course then, into the back 9. Warner 23 points at this stage, and the closing holes are pretty tricky. That one's all right. 20-25 feet. 1 hole short of the turn for Richmond at the 8th, par 3. Water involved here, but not too close to the green. And that's a very nice tee shot. Birdie chance coming up. Wymark just at the front of the 11th in 2, so this the 3rd at the par 4. Should chase down a little bit for him. Run, run, run. Stalling slightly. 12th is a great par 5. Risk and reward. Fairbrother in trouble. His 4th over the water. Got that bit right, and he got that right as well. So chance for a par. That might be very useful indeed. Camilleri pairing. 17, out of position. Needing to fashion something. And keep straight. Stay. Ooh, it's just about okay. I got this, Dad. Got this. Par 4, 14th, Warner. Oh, he doesn't like it straight away. He's under-hit it a lot. Great tee shot at the 8th for Ethan Richmond, and the birdie 2 will follow if this goes in nearly. Top edge, 33 points. However, that is leading in the clubhouse. Out of 11, that's a pretty good effort for Ethan. Eleventh hole's not a straightforward affair. That was, though. Bolted it into the back. 30 points. Playoff position at the minute for Albert. So he's got to have a long, long wait and see what happens with the rest of the players out in the golf course. Terrific 4th shot at the 12th of par 5. Stay up. Oh, unlucky. However, 30 points for William in a playoff position. A long afternoon in prospect. Back to the 17th. And Luca Camilleri. It's a birdie chip at the par 5. Steady, steady. Just a little overbid. That left for his par. Pressure putt coming up. 147. Playing off the yellow tees, the boys today. Not quite off the back pegs at the Forest of Arden. And that is at least a club and a half out. Warner's par at 14 after the first putt came up woefully short. No problem. That was putt of a young person. 34 points. New clubhouse leader for Jack. Jack is back. Luca for the par at 17. Hating that. 6 on a par 5. However, 31 points. Currently in a playoff position. Dan Taylor miles over the back at 8 with the tee shot, the par 3. So, chipping and putting, please. He's played it pretty well. Go on. Go on. Splendid shot. 35 points. New clubhouse leader, Dan Taylor. What a performance. Okay, let's get to Anna on the first tee, and she's with the son of a legend.
Well, I'm in some quite royal company here. Paul Llewellyn, if not the greatest Trilby Tourian of all time. I've got son and Dave, Leon and Dave. Leon, no pressure, but your dad has set quite the benchmark for Trilby Tour experience.
It's play my own game, obviously, and we'll see how it goes at the end of the day.
And on the bag, we've got the great Dave, who's seen Paul to many a height on the Trilby Tour. Can you do the same with son?
Well, we hope so. He certainly strikes a ball well enough, and he's still only 16, so I would think in time he'll become as good as his father.
Well, let the legend continue. Take after your dad, off you go.
Driver, big bad boy. Whoosh. Oh, not overly pleased with that. But the question posed to you as we go to the break is, how many L's are there in Leon Llewellyn? Good luck.
The perfect gentleman's playground.
Welcome back to the Forest of Arden for the 2016 William Hunt Trilby Teens event. The current clubhouse leader is Dan Taylor on 35 points, so it's clearly a higher standard of play than most of the adults when they play here. That's a good looking swing as well, isn't it? Lots of them out there. Plowman at the 8th, 147 the number, 10 points so far for Austin. He didn't use all his powers there. Second at 14, 28 points. This is a man that's going really well. Matthew Sheldon. Got his dad mark on the bag. There'll be little conversation after that. 12th, over the water with your third shot, the par 5. James Murphy just over the path. Oh, and just over the water, but with scull. So at least it's not swimming. Sheldon's bunker shot. 14, safe par, hopefully. It's a high one. Just a little too high. Now from short right of the 8th. Austin Plowman. Come on. Work to do on that one. Through the back in 3 for Murphy. Chipping the putt down the hill, the par 5 for his par. Go on, keep going. Down the hill. It's trying for him. It's makeable. Not bad at all. Scary shot with the water behind. Par putt for Sheldon. From distance. Oh, nearly a cheeky up and down from the bunker. However, another player gets to 35 points. Matthew Sheldon in excellent shape. Joint clubhouse leader. Plowman's par putt at the short par 3 8th. Just trickling past the right edge. And Austin, look at that, 17 handicap, 35 points, tied for the lead in the clubhouse. What a day. Back out to all the L's. Llewellyn, young Rocky. That was a good looking swing and shot. Will it find the target? Oh, it certainly will. That left for a birdie too. Playing like the old fella. Par putt from the back of the 12th. Robbed. Absolutely robbed. Can you believe it? Another player gets to 35 points. They're stacking up. Young Llewellyn for his birdie. Kept his head very still, running towards the hole. Go on. No, robbed. Good effort. Almost a 2. Well, let's get out into the course with Anna. She's with Trilby Tour coach Barney Puttick, looking at tips to improve your game if you're a teen.
Thanks, Rob. With me here is Coach Barney, official coach of the Trilby Tour, and you've got some pretty special tips, especially made for teens today. What have you got for us?
Okay, well, I think what mustn't be underestimated with teens is how their body shape changes. So you could almost have 18-inch difference in their height inside of 18 months. And I think that's underestimated when they're setting up to the ball. So if I demonstrate the correct setup, and then I'll show you then what I see quite a lot of. So the correct setup would be clubs here. I've got a medium iron, so I've got around about a hand's width from my backhand to there. Knees are nicely flexed. You can see my spine's pretty straight, and the line across my shoulders, knees, hips and feet, that's all pointing nice and square into there then, like that. What I'm then seeing after the growth spurt is this. Starts hunching up to here, and you can see the shoulders get hunched. And the other thing that happens is your arms are getting longer, the hands are getting bigger. So
is it also a matter of changing your clubs as well?
This is the other thing. We'll come to that, yeah. So what I'm seeing is this, straighter legs, arms hanging over like this, and then you're not in a position of any sort of power. But certainly the point on the clubs you make is a good one. So go and visit your local pro quite regularly on that. And also maybe get your friend to check you in an iPhone or stand in front of a mirror and check your angles. And most teenagers don't need too much encouragement about seeing themselves on film. So that's a really good way of just monitoring that, but do it more regularly than adults have to, because your body's changing all the time.
Yeah, very good point and well made, Barney. Let's get back out onto the golf course. The par 5 17th. Left-hander, James Sawkins. His 4th, though. So that's a lengthy par putt. That's 40 feet easily down there. Llewellyn in with a shout if he can do something tasty here. He'll have to chip it in. Such a tough finishing hole. It's very good. Go on. Lovely shot. Nice one to finish on. 35 points, would you believe? Par with a stroke at the last. And he's in with a shout.
Leon, that's a very positive round. You had Dad following you all the way. Was he a bit of a lucky charm, do you think?
Yeah, he was there for when I needed him. But it was merely me and Dave that did the work. Dad stayed out of the way.
I was going to say, Dave, the ultimate Trilby caddy. How much for help was he?
Oh, he's great help. Plots around the course, tells you where to hit it. I'll just sit there and swing the club.
All that preparation in his book, it was all worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Helped massively.
Well, Paul, you were out there watching every shot. How did he do?
He did well. He had some good holes, some very good holes. Had some holes which are not so good, but I mean, that's why he plays at 14. He didn't score on 17, so he needed a par on the 18th and hit a fantastic chip shot. Bit of Seb Carmichael Brown from last year coming through. Will said to me, he says, "Oh, could be another Seb shot here." And I said, "You can be anybody he likes as long as he holds it." And he got up and down from way over there. So yeah, we're really chuffed. I'm really proud of.
That's nice, isn't it? Always nice to be proud of your offspring. Now Sawkins in the water on the green for 4, 40 feet away with a bit of curl. This is a par putt and a hopeful effort. Hopeful. Oh, it's only in. It's only in. What a putt to make that is. Incredible par. Let's get back to Barney and Anna.
So Barney, as an adult, I know from experience that mainly practicing is going down the range and hitting the big drives, but actually the best way to take shots off your card is to come down to the short game area. For teens, it can be a little boring, but what can they do that's fun and that will take some shots off their game?
Well, you're right. This is an area, I mean, Jordan Spieth said that. This is the quickest way of improving your score. So I think for the fun element is grab yourself a friend, come down to the area, come down here as we are on the edge of the green here, and actually have some competitive chipping. See who can get it closest to the hole more often than not. And very quickly, an hour, 2 hours, you can get very good at chipping. And I can demonstrate a little bit on here just to show you the technique. And within no time at all, you can catch up those adults with improvement in this area.
Excellent. Let's go for it.
So with a shot like this, we're going to play a high one over this bunker. Generally what we're going to do, put the feet a lot closer together, favour the weight a lot more on the left hand side. I've got my sand wedge here, so I'll take a nice even practice swing back and through the same distance. Trust the loft of the club.
Oh, Barney, that nearly went in. So for these teens, it's all about having a bit more patience and working on little games like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the best way to improve your short game is to get a group of you and chip and putt for money. Although we're not advocating gambling on the Trilby Tour, but I tell you what, it gets your attention. Foster's tee shot. It's not so bad there. You can get that up and down. To Sawkins, the left-hander, 18, par 3. Now, not too many players find this green in the right number. That's 1. That's the best shot we've seen. What an approach shot. Right across the gulch, the valley with the water in it. Superb. Another Joe Johnson this time. Having a go at the 11th, 14 handicapper. Hillside Golf Club played there. Beautiful course. In amongst the dunes. Birkdale's another one. Westlanks. Formby. They're all up there. Foster's chip. Work to do. Some of these holes at the Forest of Arden are very, very difficult. Let's get one last tip from Barney.
So Barney, one problem that teens have, I'm sure, well, most golfers, but it's that want and desire to whack the ball as hard as you can to get the distance. But that's not actually the best way to go about it, is it? What can you recommend for teens to help them to get a bit more distance but not so much power?
Well, you're right. I mean, every golfer I've ever met from 15 to 50 wants to hit the ball further. And the temptation for a junior is trying to keep up with the adults and they lose their body shape. So what I give them is this Swish Test, which I'll demonstrate. And this really shows you whether you're balancing properly through the shot. So if I just show you.
Oh, it makes a lovely swish.
So you can hear there, my body's nice and stable. So I've really used what we call centrifugal force. So the tip end of the club's travelling much faster than the centre of the body. If I demonstrate what I see a lot of, where people are trying to hit it further, especially teens, they're trying to keep up. And this is what happens with their bodies.
Okay. Yeah, much slower club and not the right balance.
Exactly, much slower. So when you look at the world number one, in fact, Jason Day, you can see how well balanced he is over a driver. He's never leaning sideways when he's finished the shot. So when he's come through, he's used the full force of the club. And of course, as they become physically stronger, they'll hit it further. But the first thing is get your technique right, and then you'll really start to make square contact with it.
Very, very good advice for Barney. Or the other side of the coin is just stand up there and smash it as hard as you can. I preferred option 2. James Sawkins, 36 points, new clubhouse leader. Terrific tee shot into that 18th. Back towards the close of the front 9, par putt for Foster. Mr. Green, missed the putt, but he did not miss a trick. 37 points, new clubhouse lead. Joe Foster, top man. Joe Johnson's birdie attempt, 21 points, so it's all going rather well. And not on this occasion, but look at that, 38 points. Best score of the day, Joe Johnson into the final. So it's shootout time to decide who's going to make it through to the final. Sheldon, Murphy, Llewellyn and Taylor. Some good swings there. So from 100 yards, this was the best of them. And Matthew Sheldon makes it through with 35 points. He qualifies for the playoff. So Sheldon joined by Joe Johnson, Joe Foster and James Sawkins in the playoff. Well played, Leon Llewellyn, James Murphy and Dan Taylor. Hard luck. Owen Musgrave, Jack Warner and Ethan Richmond getting top 10 finishes. It's time for Hunt's Hunch.
Joe Johnson, Joe Foster, James Sawkins and Matt Sheldon. I know nothing of these 4 boys except what I've seen today. What I've seen is 4 supremely confident young men. Unbelievable. The confidence these guys have shown, it outweighs the seniors. Who do I think's going to win today? I've got to go with Joe Johnson because his dad's on the bag. His dad's achieved nothing after many, many attempts on the Trilby Tour. His dad's going to be in bits. I know his dad's going to just flub like a babby. Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with Joe Johnson. From a personal point of view, the Trilby Tour is in very, very good hands for the future with these boys, I can tell you that now.
You know, I've always wondered how far he actually walks. Does he go for 3 miles in a straight line, or does he stop just outside the camera range? We'll ask William when we get a chance. When we come back, it's the playoff.
The perfect gentleman's playground.
Welcome back. We are inching closer to finding out who is going to be this year's top Trilby teen. 4 left in the playoff. Joe Johnson, Joe Foster, James Sawkins and Matthew Sheldon.
Please now invite to the tee Mr. Joe Johnson.
My name's Joseph Johnson. I'm 13 years old. I play at Hillside Golf Club and I'm off 14. It's good fun, played well. And my dad was good in caddying. Helped me with lines, helped me with yardages, knows what clubs I hit from yardages, so he helped me. Did good putting, got it close, tapped it in or canned him. So yeah, it was all good. But hopefully I can win it today.
And a big advantage off of 14 handicap. He gets a shot at the 10th, at the 12th and the 18th, the par 3. Now this is a little bit too far right, is it? Yeah, maybe tree trouble, bit blocked out.
Next on the tee, Mr. Joe Foster.
Name's Joe Foster, I'm 17, I play at Grimsby Golf Club and I'm off 7. Putted well, especially on the downhill ones, that very quick. Got up and down when I needed to, and I played the first 7 holes I was 300 gross, so I was just wanting to keep going from there. Then we had a couple of blips, but then we got back at it, so we got there. I played 10 and 12 well. 18 I stuck it under a sign earlier, so hopefully I don't do that again, but I know what comes to it on 18 now, so yeah, I fancy my chances.
So 3 wood, just 400 yards off the yellow tees, the 10th. And sometimes when it draws you can run out of room on the left hand side. That's lovely.
Third on the tee, Mr. James Sawking.
I'm James Hawkins, I'm 15 years old and I'm from Sundridge Park and I play off 5. Oh, it was amazing. I really enjoyed myself and the golf went along with it as well, so yeah, I played well today. I hit it really good off the tee, which opened up many opportunities for me, and then I hit lots of okay iron shots, which led to having putts on the greens, and it just turned out that I hold a few at the right times, which really helped today.
So with the driver, it's a draw shape for him. He wants to be the perfect one as a left-hander, and that's staying in the air a long time. That's all right.
And finally, on the tee, Mr. Matthew Sheldon.
Matthew Sheldon, 16 years old, Great Bar Golf Club, handicap 6. Very nervous. Happy that I've gone nearest pin though, so I'm getting power. Good, had a good front 9, I was 300 gross, and then I had a really bad back 9. I just got a bit nervous and just hit a couple of bad drives and only had 12 points. So it's good overall though, good course.
Well, you get through the last 4, there's only 3 guys to beat. Sheldon's tee shot. Sounded good, crowd liked it. Oh, it's sensational. That is absolutely A1. So they're off and running. 4 youngsters trying to be the top youngster in town. Bit blocked out. Johnson's second at 10. We kept it under the tree. Now if it chases, it could get it very close to the green. Come on. Oh, he's done better than that. He's putting. What a shot that is. Foster off a beautiful tee shot. Perfect view. There's this one gone, Joe. Come on. Oh, missed target. Slightly long and right, Sheldon. Said he was nervous, but the swing looks very composed. And a lovely one. Straight into the heart of the green, so no problems at all. And last to play, Sawkins off a very long tee shot. Oh, chance to get it close. And that's underbid. James gutted. So it finished here in the bunker. Played it nicely. Gave the sand a nice healthy thump. Just a bit too much check. Par putt will ensue. Foster's third. Missed the green right. Little dunt forward. Also struggling for par. So it's going to be advantage Joe Johnson certainly, because he's got a stroke here, and this is a birdie putt for a net 2. Steady. Not stone dead. Sheldon's birdie putt after 2 good ones. Maybe just a little wary after watching Johnson's approach putt. But a par for Matthew Sheldon, so he's level heading into the par 5 12th. Sawkins to match him. Well, the par's not secure, and neither is the bogey. Foster for the 4. Not to be, so +1. Par 5 to come for the 7 handicapper. One thing's for sure, he will be behind. He'll be trailing. But by how many? Sawkins bogey putt. So he's also 1 over going down the 12th. But Joe Johnson's the one that can make a noise here, because this is for a par net birdie. Cross-handed putting style like Jordan Spieth. No nonsense, in it goes. 1 under par, the man to beat as they head down the 12th. Well, Anna's got the panel. Let's hear their views.
Thanks, Rob. With me now is the playoff panel. We've got Coach Barney again and greatest living Trilby Tourian, Paul Llewellyn. Paul, I'm going to start with you. You know how much emotion goes into this kind of thing. How nerve-wracking are these free holes?
I think the young lads are coping quite well at the moment. All it really decent tee shots off the 10th. Little Joe, who's got a shot, and we've nicknamed him Little Joe because he's the smallest out of the 4, has got a real good mindset. Was behind the tree, hit a nice little low draw shot onto the green. 2-putted, very positive, right edge firm. You know what? He's got a shot. He's 1 under the card. He's got 2 more shots. My money's there. It really is.
And Barney, from a more technical side, what do you think about the way that these kids have approached the first hole in the playoff? It's not easy.
It isn't. No, it's quite a tight landing area. So I love their Route 1 approach, though, generally. They just stand there, see the target, and they don't think about any of the obstacles at all. So very positive start. A couple of them just, Matthew just ran out of room a little bit off the tee, but otherwise, yeah, good stuff.
First impressions, who's looking good?
I think little Joe, yeah, with the extra shots, he's cool as a cucumber, absolutely.
Okay, we'll see. Thanks, guys.
This is the second playoff hole. First to the tee. Please welcome Joe Johnson.
Well, in Henry VIII's time, half a millennia ago, there was a hunt here, and there's a hunt here today. Johnson's in the hunt, 1 under par, leading the way. Playing without fear and with a lot of confidence.
Second on the tee, Matthew Sheldon.
Now, if that gets a lot of chase down here, he might be tempted to have a go at this green in 2. It's got to stay on the fairway, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, third on the tee, Mr. Joe Foster.
Foster, driver. Seems to like that. Oh, now that's the one you're looking for.
James Sawkins.
Sawkins hit a good drive down the 10th. Nice. Let's see how far this one goes. Good looking swing, wasn't it? So he's in good position as well. But you can play this hole and make a birdie with 3 shots. Over the road with your second, your layup, and the wedge over the water. That'll be Johnson's method. His second. This is hooking. How far is it going left? Now over there, that could be very risky. Sheldon laying up. Anywhere just over the road, and then try and wedge it close. Yeah, that's perfect. I'm sure we're going to see someone have a crack here, though. Sawkins with his second, laying up. So that's okay. Now we're going to see a bit of timber. Come on, let's see a wood. No, laying up. And that's going a little right. If you lay up, you've got to make sure you get it in the fairway, and that one is way out of position. That's a loose one. It's probably right on the limit to carry the water. So Johnson having a chip out sideways here. And he's made a good job of that. So he's played 3. Net 2. Because he has a stroke. Foster's layup was wayward, so he can just chip this out. So it's really all about the approaches over the water. Tight fairways. What you can't do is catch it a hair heavy. Sheldon to go first. That's certainly not heavy. It looks left. So that left for his 4th. It's going to be a tricky chip too. Landing on the knuckle, down the hill. Sawkins after a layup. Again, wide of the mark. These are chances going begging here. No one really in a position to make a birdie. Johnson's 4th, net 3rd. Now, is the youngster's wedge play any good? Well, it is good. Back you go. Down you go. Go on. It's creeping closer. And the claps get louder. That for a 5-net 4. Up and down for a par for Foster. Come on, Joe. Is it long? Little. Tricky putt down the hill, down a tier for a par 5. So Sheldon, birdie chip. But not an easy up and down. Steady. And just running away all day long, that one. Mistake was the 3rd shot. Sawkins 4th. He was able to get the putter on it. Look how quick that putt is, though. By the minute, it's looking better and better for Joe Johnson. Foster for the par. A lot of youngsters putting cross-handed now. I wonder if that's a Jordan Spieth effect. Gary Player says that at some point everybody will go cross-handed. Thinks that's the way to go. Johnson for the par. And would you believe it, lays it up, but a 6-net 5 means he doesn't drop a shot and he does stay 1 under. He'll be the only man under par, that's guaranteed. But how big will his lead be? Sheldon for the par, stay level. Yes, so stays on the coattails of Joe Johnson, Matthew. 1 hole to play and it's that tough 18th, that par 3. Foster out of it now. This to post +2, which he does. But I'm not sure he can do anything from there. So maybe Foster's race is run. And last 2 putt out. James Sawkins lives out. Also +2. So it's really down to 2 players. Matthew Sheldon and Joe Johnson. Let's get back to the panel.
So, Coach Barney, looking at that hole, Joe's still in the lead, but he got into a bit of trouble there. How well did he do to get out of that?
Very good, showed very good maturity there because he was a little bit shaken. He first poor shot he'd hit, then he recovered well, played a really good pitch onto the green and recovered a 6-net 5, so he's still in the driving seat, definitely.
Absolutely, and Paul, you've been in this situation many a time. What would you say to the other boys now? Would they just have to go for it on the final hole, do you think?
Well, it's just 1 hole, isn't it? It's 1 hole. One historical shot for somebody to stick you next to the flag and put the pressure on, then we'll see what Joe is made of. He has a shot in the bag, but he's still got to get it up and down.
The tension is rising, not long to go. Thanks, guys.
This is our 3rd playoff hole, and I'd like to invite onto the tee, first of all, Joe Johnson.
Joe Johnson leading the way, 1 under par, and this is the most important shot of his young career. Driver at the par 3. It's right, maybe a little long as well.
Next on the tee, Matthew Sheldon.
Sheldon with a hybrid. That's a very good looking ball flight. Is it the right club though? Oh, it is. Crackerjack. You just never know. You knock that in.
Next on tee, Mr. Joe Foster.
Joe Foster from +2. A hole in one would be handy. Lovely strike. This is turning onto the flag.
And finally, on the tee, James Sawkins.
Struck it too well. Sawkins, last to play, also +2. And that looked like a shank. If it wasn't, it was very close. Long way offline, that one for Sawkins.
So guys, Barney, as we know, Joe's currently 1 under. He's found himself in a bit of a sticky position here. What's the best way to approach this?
I think he's going to play a little chip and run here, so he's got a nice bit of green to play with, and he's on the right side, so I think he'll give himself a putt for a 3, definitely.
Well, Paul, we saw some great little tee shots off here. We've got Matthew on the green. How much of a confidence boost is that to finish off this playoff?
I think landing the green's great, isn't it? I've not managed to do it in the 3 years here, but yeah, I think he's put a little bit of pressure on Joe. He's, I think for me, if I was Joe, I'd probably just take the 4. Take the 4 and run 4-net 3 and say, go on then, go and get birdie, because you know he's got a big putt, snaking right to left, downhill at the end. You know, it's a bit of a tricky putt Matthew's got. So I think I'd be putting the pressure on him to say, go and make it.
There's a lot of pressure on Joe, that little 13-year-old. See what happens.
James from slightly left of the green. That's a real up and under, that one. And that one's overhit, so still not on the putting surface, although he will be putting. But he knows it's probably over for him. Not for this man, though. Joe Johnson's second. Try and chip and putt if he can. And he's hit that a little bit thin. Sit! That's nervous. He was full of chat there, doing the dab, walking up to the green. It's not so funny now, little Joe, is it? Third from the bunker. Skinny. So he's now played 3. He had a one-shot lead. This is far from over. Joe the Dabblers. Sawkins for the par. Green's running at a really good speed. And that one trundling past for James. Foster at +2. Birdie, get to +1. Funny things happen in golf, you never know. What we do know is that is a quick putt from above the hole. Sideshow really, because it's between Sheldon and Johnson. Sheldon, if he knocks this in, he'll post 1 under, and that could be good enough. But in truth, it's a tough 2-putt. Coming round. Nah, it's pretty well judged. And that'll be a par, so he'll post level. And with a stroke, young Joe Johnson has this for victory. Again, he'll know this is fast. Pretty smooth effort. And he's got a chance. Oh, he's held it! Oh, look at the finger. Yes, he is the best Trilby teen of 2016. Young Joe Johnson. Big smiles for his dad. Oh, blanked on the high five. Got him second time round. Champione.
We're on the final leg of this year's Trilby Tour. Just the Trilby 2's pairs competition from Hull and our Rogues Gallery special still to come this season. Right now, let's hear it for the first ever Trilby Teens Champion, Joe Johnson.
I would like to thank my dad and Dean Wheeler, also Richie Bundle for helping me at the golf club, Ollie Clark and Ollie Ravenscroft for helping me.
So all the lads at Hillside Golf Club, all the juniors and all the seniors, they're really good with him. So.
Just this once, we're breaking our no putts rule on shot of the day for this perfectly plotted long one from James Hawkins on the 17th. And now, as they're so young, are we still going to take the mick in Rogues Gallery? You bet your life we are. Starting with the Trilby Teens champion himself, Joe Johnson on the 8th, showing us a splash of the sparkling form that won him the title. Bradley Wright, also on 8, manages successfully to avoid the water, and the green, and the rough, and even the golf course. There's some say that one's still rolling. And we're staying on 8 as Matthew Bedford tries to help out by sending his ball to look for Bradley's. Isn't that nice of him? Ewan Muttett Jones now on 17 does his level best to avoid the water, and he almost manages it. Also on 17, Owen Musgrave tries to wipe out our cameraman Matt, but while he certainly gets Matt worried, he hammers his ball just too far right. Perhaps he doesn't realise there's a prize if you hit one, Owen. Matthew Sheldon knows he must avoid the water on the right at 17, so he sends his approach left. Just a wee bit too far left, if you ask me. Hoping to make amends, Matthew then successfully extricates his ball from the long grass and onto the green. And then off the green again and straight into the lake. And finally, Austin Plowman, another golfer taking aim at cameraman Matt, but only succeeding in reaching the water. Nobody's going to win that prize at this rate. As his hopes and his ball sink, let's have a quick word from William.
What's that old saying, never work with children, never work with kids? Well, that was fantastic today. You know, most people's lives, most young lads' lives, the dad's the hero. Well, it's the other way around today. Mal Johnson is in bits, and his son is his hero. Joe Johnson is today's hero. Played fantastic. The calmest guy you could ever meet. He's just incredible. We looked it, but we spoke to him sort of earlier. He was, you know, his heart was skipping a bit there.
Next week, we return to the wonderful Hull Golf Club for the Trilby Twos. You may remember that this event last year was the wettest Trilby ever. Will it be the same again this year? Yes, it will. In the meantime, why don't you stay dry and check out www.trilbytour.com to find out more about how to get involved in the tour in 2017. Or go to the Sky Sports website to see an extended edit of this week's Rogues Gallery. We'll see you next week.
Well, with his dad's friend on the bag, we've got George and Allant. Now, George, first of all, why isn't your dad? Where is he? What's he up to?
He was at a wedding yesterday, so he's feeling a bit worse for wear.
William Hunt Savile Row sponsors the Trilby Tour. The perfect gentleman's playground.